Imagine waking up one day and discovering that every single person on Earth has the mind of a genius. Every problem, every challenge, and every task that required intense mental focus and intelligence is now trivial for everyone. What would that world look like? Would it be a utopia of technological marvels, or would humanity face new, unprecedented challenges? In today's video, we're diving into the question, what if everyone on Earth became a genius? We'll explore how this could affect technology, society, relationships, and even the fundamental way we live our lives. Let's start with the most immediate effects. On day one, things would start to change in some incredible ways. Innovation would skyrocket. Imagine the most complicated fields, quantum physics, genetics, artificial intelligence, and climate science, suddenly advancing at a pace that is currently unfathomable. Today's brightest minds would no longer stand out because everyone would be at that level. This universal genius would mean solutions to problems we haven't yet dreamed of solving. Diseases that have plagued humanity for centuries, cured in a fraction of the time it takes today. The climate crisis, solved through revolutionary new technologies that can mitigate and even reverse environmental damage. The creation of entirely new industries and fields of study would be possible. With collective intelligence driving innovation, the rate at which we progress technologically would be exponential. But with this surge of intelligence comes some potential downsides. Every genius needs a problem to solve, but what happens when all the low-hanging fruit, things like eliminating hunger or poverty, are addressed? Would we run out of challenges? And if so, would humanity become bored? Let's dive into how this would affect our social structures. Today, society is built on a system where people contribute in different ways based on their skills. But what happens when everyone is a genius? Does the concept of traditional work still exist? Think about the jobs we have now: engineers, doctors, teachers, artists. How would those roles shift when the baseline intelligence level is genius? We might see a massive shift in the kinds of roles that exist. Jobs that rely on repetition or basic cognitive tasks could be entirely automated or eradicated, leaving only creative and strategic roles for humans. However, this poses a societal dilemma. Genius-level intelligence doesn't mean everyone's interests and personalities suddenly become uniform. People will still have preferences, desires, and ambitions. So how do you handle a society where everyone wants to make groundbreaking discoveries, but not everyone can? The competition for recognition, prestige, and achievement could become overwhelming. And then there's the issue of governance. Would traditional political structures even make sense in a world where everyone is a genius? Democracy, for example, might evolve into something else entirely, maybe a system where decisions are made based purely on rational, logical outcomes, with emotion and bias stripped away. But would that be a good thing? Some might argue that the loss of emotional input could lead to cold, calculating decisions that lack empathy. Speaking of emotions, one of the most fascinating questions is how a society of geniuses would affect human relationships and creativity. Intelligence alone doesn't govern the complexity of human emotions, desires, or interpersonal conflicts. Would relationships become more harmonious, with everyone understanding each other on a deeper intellectual level? Or would overanalyzing every aspect of life lead to more friction, with people constantly challenging each other's decisions, ideas, or values? A society of geniuses might be prone to overthinking even the simplest of interactions. When it comes to creativity, the idea of universal genius is tricky. We often think of genius as tied to invention and innovation. But what about art, music, or storytelling? Would people, driven by intellect, view creativity differently? Instead of creating for emotion or self-expression, perhaps art could become more about logic, precision, and technical mastery. But then there's the chance that human creativity could explode in ways we can't imagine. When you remove the barriers of misunderstanding or miscommunication, maybe new forms of art, new genres of music, or entirely new methods of storytelling would emerge. It's possible that, instead of diminishing creativity, genius-level intelligence could push it to new heights, blending intellect with emotion in ways we've never seen before. One of the most exciting prospects of universal genius is the potential for global collaboration. Right now, progress is often slowed by political disagreements, misunderstandings, and misaligned priorities. But if everyone were a genius, it's possible that international collaboration could reach unprecedented levels. Imagine a world where nations work together seamlessly on global issues like climate change, space exploration, or resource management. Genius-level minds might see beyond national interests and focus on what's best for humanity as a whole. But there's a dark side to this too. With everyone being a genius, what happens to conflict? Will humanity outgrow war, seeing it as irrational and wasteful? Or will conflict simply evolve into something far more complex, with warring factions using advanced strategies, psychological manipulation, and technologies that could lead to devastation on a scale we've never seen? The stakes of conflict could rise dramatically, especially as new forms of technology emerge. Genius-level intelligence could make it easier to build powerful weapons or create new forms of digital or biological warfare. Now let's explore an important question. Are there limits to genius? We often equate intelligence with the ability to solve problems, but intelligence alone doesn't solve everything. For example, genius minds may still struggle with some of the most fundamental human issues, like finding meaning or purpose. If everyone is hyper-intelligent, the pressure to achieve something remarkable might lead to widespread existential crises. Moreover, intelligence doesn't guarantee happiness. It's possible that a world of geniuses would face new mental health challenges. The burden of constantly seeking perfection or the inability to turn off one's mind could lead to a greater prevalence of anxiety, depression, or burnout. Finally, intelligence is only one aspect of human life. There's still physical health, emotional well-being, and interpersonal connections to consider. In a world focused so intensely on intellectual pursuits, would we neglect the other things that make us human? So what would happen if everyone on Earth became a genius? It's a world full of possibilities where technological advancement, global collaboration, and creative expression could reach unimaginable heights. But it's also a world with new challenges, social, emotional, and existential, that we can't predict. In the end, intelligence, while powerful, isn't a magic solution to all our problems. Humanity's genius is already at work every day in small ways. Maybe the real question we should ask is, what if we valued and nurtured the different kinds of intelligence that already exist in each of us? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed this thought experiment. Let us know in the comments how you think the world would change if everyone were a genius. Stay curious, and we'll see you in the next video.